What is going on out there, peeps? Let's get back to Iraq and then some. Because many times on this particular channel here, I have mentioned about a previous administration trying to put a particular country in charge of the entire Middle East region. And now, all of a sudden, we're starting to see news and a certain somebody coming out and proving why it is I call this the Biden administration. Before we get started, you guys should be thinking about buying gold and silver, and when you do, go to our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. For those of you looking for my address, there it is right there on the screen. Pause the video, you can write it down. And I want to take this time really quick to say thank you to everybody that has subscribed over to the other website. I really do appreciate it. And yes, there is a lot of information over there that you most likely are not going to see anywhere else. So much for free speech platforms. And what I mean by that, there's a lot of these so-called free speech platforms that are out there that now are removing videos. Oh, there's one particular one that their entire messaging is based on the fact that they are free speech. Now has started removing videos if you talk about the jab. Whatever movement is behind that, they are going after anybody and everybody who even remotely talks about it. You could go see it on my platform. That's for sure. For those of you who are interested on Facebook, I do have a group. It's free to join. It's the same name as my YouTube channel. The link is down below in the description. Come on over here and join us. We do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. So come on down and check us out. Well, here we go. Yep. Sure enough, you right. Sure enough, you right. I said this many times. This is the Biden administration, third term. Said it so many times. And I also told you that what they originally planned to do under Obama's administration was to give Iran power over the Middle East so they could control it. If you look at this movement that they're trying to do, this great reset, they have broken the world up into maps. 7 sections, 6 sections actually, turning everybody into unions. The Eastern Union, stuff like that. And each union would have its country that controls it. And then those people send representatives and they go meet wherever these people want to meet and talk about how they want to continue ruling the world. Well, in the Middle East, I had said that Iran was the chosen people. They were supposed to be the ones that were to control the Middle East. And lo and behold, the devil himself. What's really going on with Iran? It doesn't look like the Biden-Obama administration is really interested in peace in the Middle East. No, they never were. Good Lord, Obama came out and you still could find that video on YouTube. Admitted that they found, funded, armed, and trained ISIS. In the beginning, he called them freedom fighters. Where do you think they got all that advanced technology? Where do you think they got all those rows of brand new Toyota trucks? You just think some cave dwellers running around herding sheep just magically had a ton of money like that? They grew, ISIS did, under Obama. And I don't mean by a little bit, like big. Years we fought these people. It took Trump literally under 2 weeks to wipe them out. Not totally, but get rid of the caliphate. So that tells you one or two things about the Obama administration. Either he was such a weak leader and he didn't know how to handle ISIS, or he was behind their growth. A non-politician went in there and did the right things. One is, don't listen to Pentagon. Two, fly over there and talk to the people that's boots on the ground. He knew you couldn't trust the people at the Pentagon. Good reason. Look at that idiot Millie. So anyways, right here is a little back and forth in this transcript. We don't need that part. Let's just hear it from the horse's mouth.
I want to go back to the Iranian people. If there's one party that hasn't been really heard from in all these negotiations, it is the silent majority there. And they're going to watch this interview. What would you say to them? What are your hopes for them?
What I'd say to them is this offers a historic opportunity. Their economy has been cratering as a consequence of the sanctions. They have the ability now to take some decisive steps to move towards a more constructive relationship with the world community. And what I would say to them is the same thing I said earlier this morning. They need to seize that opportunity. Their leaders need to seize that opportunity. And the truth of the matter is that Iran will be and should be a regional power. They are a big country and a sophisticated country in the region.
A regional power. This is the same guy that said every country should have a nuclear bomb so that the United States wasn't the only superpower. Anyways, you can see what's going on here. It said, are Biden officials really interested in colluding? Exactly right. Colluding negotiations with Iran? Or are they just pretending to negotiate to provide cover for Iran while Iran rushes to a nuclear breakthrough? Good Lord, I must be a prophet. Seriously, didn't I tell you this? I said the same thing. I said there's no rush for them to do a nuclear deal. They'll just continue. Iran, who came out and told the world because Trump pulled out of the nuclear deal, that now they're just going to go ahead and build a weapon. While when Trump was there, he made damn sure they didn't. But when Biden got in office, we knew they wouldn't do anything. And that they would just sit there and stall. And I said the reason for the stalling is they were allowing the program to go through and that they would just go, see, it's Trump's fault. So yeah, almighty, all-knowing Pimpy. Everything in this article is exactly what I said was going to happen. You got to look at it. Again, if under Obama they wanted to turn these people into regional power, they wanted them to have a nuclear weapon. And why would you want Iran to have a nuclear weapon? Well, one, they wanted to wipe Israel off the face of the earth. And two, them having a nuclear weapon, they can threaten the surrounding nations to obey them or else. So see, they wanted to turn over the power to Iran. Yeah. It's all coming clear now. So Obama did not go into this to stop Iran from going nuclear. He did it to turn Iran into an axis of the Middle East. Supporting Iran is his way of blocking the power of his successors in the White House to pursue a more pro-American foreign policy. Block the power of his successors. Yeah, exactly. Talk about destroying the country from within. That's how communism moves. For those of you out there get all bent every time I talk about the traitor Obama, just do a little research. Seriously, it doesn't take very much. This guy surrounded himself with communists, literally Valerie Jarrett, registered communist. John Brenner, who controlled our intelligence agency, the CIA, a communist. And if they weren't communists, they were members of the Muslim Brotherhood. Now that stuff isn't made up. They didn't even hide it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Just go look it up. So, as I had predicted, exactly what the Biden administration was going to do was continue to do what Obama started. And that was to allow Iran to make the nuclear bomb so that they could control the Middle East. ICAL said this over here. It says, Obama claims to have stopped the spread of nuclear weapons by allowing Iran to keep enhancing its nuclear program and rewarding it with ballistic missiles for its peaceful intentions. The same country that says death to America and death to Israel, our very own president was allowing them to have a nuclear weapon. I'll just be silent here and let that sink in for just a second. Obama allowed a country that sings death to America and death to Israel to have a nuclear weapon to stop nuclear programs? Has it sunk in yet? John Kerry is married to, here's what gets me about how the hell is this allowed? Mitch McConnell is married to a Chinese woman whose father is best friends with the former chair of the CCP. Dianne Feinstein's limo driver was a Chinese spy. Democrat Senator Swalwell, the guy that farted live on air now twice, was having an affair with a Chinese spy. John Kerry's wife is related to one of the leaders in Iran. Does anybody see anything in here that might be considered, I don't know, a conflict of interest and a serious security risk? I'm just throwing that out there. So anyway, John Kerry was the one that was spearheading the whole negotiations in the first place. As you can see, John Kerry is now part of the Biden administration, and these negotiations are still going on. Under Trump, he undermined everything Trump did by violating our laws and still going over to negotiate with Iran, even though he wasn't supposed to. There is a law that prohibits anybody as not part of the presidential administration from going over and negotiating on behalf of America. And did anybody do anything? That's one thing I've learned under the Trump administration is just how useless our senators are and how useless our government is. You can have all the hearings you want. And sometimes you didn't even get a chance to hear the hearings that were most important. But all they did was talk. Nobody got arrested. Nobody went to jail. Nothing happened. But it put on a good show, and it gave people hope that somebody was going to finally do something. But by the time you get one type of political party in there, hey, and they start to dig up the dirt on the other, hey, then all of a sudden the other political party comes into power and they make sure everything was washed away. And they start investigating what the previous administration did, and they dig up all the dirt, hey, and they dig up all the evidence, hey, and by the time they get ready to do anything, and they swap. See how this works? The pendulum goes back and forth. And they point fingers at one another, and you have all the evidence of their crimes. And they'll make every excuse, or they'll just stop talking about it. And most likely you'll forget. Anyways, the OPEC countries got together and they agreed to raise production of Iraq, Kuwait, and the UAE's oil production. So increase the amount of production, which is good because the more that Iraq can do, the more money they generate. Now, they're already in surplus as long as the oil prices stay where they were. Now, they started to slowly creep towards my $80 mark. But once word got out, they were going to increase production. Well, think supply and demand. If they increase the amount of oil that they have and increase it, making it more oil that they're shipping out, then it obviously lowers the price of oil. Anyways, it dropped it back down to around $72 a barrel. Again, if they were already way ahead of the curve, this is going to make it even better. That's what we want to see. So that's what they agreed upon. Kuwait, the UAE, Iraq, and did I say Kuwait? Was it Kuwait? Yeah, and Kuwait will now increase their productions. Not by a lot, but enough. It still makes a difference. I believe for all of them, it's 115 or 150,000 more barrels a day. So that's a whole lot of money, and that's great for Iraq. We want to see that. We want them to start using the money to continue to build the private sector so people can have jobs. You know the story. So a new statement about the visit of Al-Kadhimi to the United States. We know what's going to happen. They're going to come here, talk about ISIS, trade, security, training, and what needs to be done so that the two can have a mutual relations. The real estate bank cancels the interest on loans from the central bank initiative. So they're trying to keep the fiat dollar alive as much as possible. Now, I said this before. We were talking about how we're talking about this. The BIS was talking about allowing countries to offer interest-free loans or cancel the interest on loans. And everybody goes, oh, but that's good for the economy. No. You see, the banks can get all this money and borrow it for free. But do you think they pass it on to the people? No. They don't do that at all. Bankers and major corporations can get this interest-free money, but people who need it the most don't. This allows the bankers to do what? Lend the money out and get more money back. Although here, in this particular case, what they're trying to do is, remember I was telling you that the banks, in my gold and silver videos, the banks are going to start tightening up the belt on their loans. They're recalling personal loans, like lines of credit. So they're calling those all back right now. And they're tightening the belt on who can and who can't get a line of credit. Basically, they are rounding up the wagons because they know a crash is coming real soon. How do I know this? This is exactly what they did back in 2007, 2008. But they're doing this worldwide. So, what they're saying to the people that's lending the money, you need to pay the money back as quickly as possible. Iraq announces the resumption of religious tourism with the countries of the world. This is good. I like this. This is one of the reasons why I always wanted to go to Iraq, go take a look at all the religious and holy sites. So it's now opening up. If that's the case, good. That's just more for the economy. Stimulate the economy. More money being generated while you can. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about in here real quickly is they did catch the people who were responsible for murdering Al-Kadhimi's closest friend. Remember when Al-Kadhimi first got voted into office? They assassinated his friend. It was to send a clear message to Al-Kadhimi. Remember, he was talking about investigating Maliki, the previous administration, after they found out all the money was gone. So, that's a good thing. That's what we want to see. Security in the region. Stability in the region. Increase in oil production to bring in more money in the region. Money going to more projects to create more jobs in the region. So no more disturbances so far, and that's exactly what we want. Let's keep it this way. This is good. Opening up for tourism. Good. That just said, well, let's put it this way. Countries wouldn't allow their citizens to go there if they thought their lives were in danger. So this is good. It's really good. A lot of good positive stuff outside of the third term of the Biden administration. That's it for now. Let me know what you think. Hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel. And I truly do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later. I'm out.